The world is one big construction site. At least that's how it should be if we want to keep our infrastructure well-oiled. Even here, in snowy Davos, buildings are going up. South Africa can learn a thing or two from countries like Switzerland. It needs to build roads, rail networks and telecoms to keep the economic engine running. We're already spending billions of rands, but it's not just about money.
Government's focus on the build program and catch up of our infrastructure is absolutely correct. Where we have to pay attention next is to make sure that we deliver on these things on time, on budget. It's one thing to introduce a build program, it's another thing to maintain, to come out on budget and to do it on time.
South Africa has shown that it can build massive infrastructure projects. The Gautrain is a good example. The rapid rail system has given the province a fast, reliable alternative to the roads. We caught up with economist Davie Root at the station in Pretoria. I mean, when we talk about big infrastructure and build plans, Davie, is this what we're talking about? It's like a massive construction site.
This is an excellent example. We've got an infrastructural deficit in South Africa, especially in things like, for example, public transport. We need much more like this. I'm not talking about 10 billion or 20 billion, we're talking about much more, and not only 10 or 20 years, even many decades. This is exactly what we need. You can't really measure the benefits to the economy directly, but indirectly the benefits to the South African economy is absolutely immense. And I'm not even referring to the actual investment, because the investment itself, of course, is economic activity, but eventually the economy is going to benefit so much more from investment like this. This is what we're talking about.
Now, government has been talking about this for years, it seems, allocating hundreds of billions of rands towards infrastructure plan. Are we finally seeing that come to fruition?
Well, we see some signs of that, but certainly not enough. I mean, when every year when the Minister of Finance, when he delivers his budget speech, there's promises of more and this and that and so on. And some of that we can actually see some of that, but it's just too slow.
The lack of infrastructure has also hampered trade between African countries.
Often, it's easier to send goods abroad than it is to our own neighbours.
Finance Minister Pravin Gordhan says that has to change.
Negotiations need to happen so that we can build new roads, build new railways, make our ports more effective, create freight logistics that will help us to get goods from one end of Africa to the other.
Other heavyweights on the continent are also struggling with infrastructure problems. Nigeria is Africa's most populous nation and its second biggest economy, but it struggled to keep the lights on. The country's power minister says government didn't plan properly, but it's learnt its lessons.
People are wondering whether we are going to cope. Well, by the end of this year, Nigeria will be generating double what we are generating now. And that is a far cry from what we actually would need eventually, but it's a drastic move upward to meet the demand.
If you build it, they will come. That's what Kevin Costner said in the movie Field of Dreams. Clearly, it's time for Africa to stop dreaming and start building. Nikiwe Pikicha, Davos, Switzerland.